Hi everyone, so I'm here with Darren Joseph today, who is a specialist in expat taxation matters. I'm Adam Fayed, I run adamfayed.com, and we are an expat wealth management organization with clients in over 109 different countries.
Adam, it is an honor and a privilege to be speaking with you. My name is Darren Joseph from HEJ.tax. We're a team that seeks to demystify the sometimes confusing world of international tax. So we work with expats, location-independent entrepreneurs, nomads, so described, anyone basically who would describe themselves as a private client exposed to more than one jurisdiction.
Following on from what you were saying, obviously this is not formal tax advice. I'm not a tax advisor unlike yourself, but when I spoke to tax advisors before, when it comes to British expats on behalf of clients and other people, from a British point of view, even though it's much easier than for Americans to go offshore and legally not pay tax on most forms of income, you've also got to factor in, if the assets are still in the UK, that's different to offshoring your assets, and inheritance tax as well, even though it might be changing. Of course, domicile isn't the same as tax residency, so even when you're alive, you pay nothing. When you die, there's a chance you might have to. So as you say, it's all about the devil's in the detail, I guess, and going back to that, what I just said about the UK non-dom status changing and potentially affecting expats, things change over time, don't they? I mean, if this change does happen in the UK, that's going to bring about opportunities and threats like anything else. So I guess it's a bit like having an MOT on your car, right? Sometimes you've got to be up to date with your structure, right?
Absolutely. Just kind of keep it up to date. And to be fair, our team kind of shy away when someone starts a conversation with, I want to pay no tax. That's when we kind of excuse ourselves and point them in the direction of the internet and they can go somewhere else. Because typically that just doesn't end well. I mean, from an international point of view, the OECD level and the EU level made it pretty clear that they don't like the idea of anyone or any entity not paying taxes anywhere else. And of course, there are a number of initiatives, BEPS under Pillar 1 and Pillar 2, and the US has FATCA, the rest of the world has Common Reporting Standards, aimed at eliminating that. Money must be taxed somewhere. In addition to which, those who may say, okay, I figured it out from a tax point of view, they forget that money needs to sit somewhere. Then you have banking rules. And banks are getting more and more strict. And when you want to prove the provenance of your funds, I mean, you have AML, KYC requirements, you're going to show me invoices. Anyone with Microsoft Excel in 5 minutes, they can produce invoices, right? The one document that shows beyond a reasonable doubt that the money is legitimately earned is a government document, and the government document of choice is a tax return. With a tax return, you have no choice and you have access to first world banking. I've had many experiences, unfortunately, where people have earned money in the emerging markets, Southeast Asia predominantly, but also to less extent Latin America, and they may want to remit that money back into the first world. I had this one particular client. I'm not going to say anything that would identify who the person is because they're relatively high profile. But the point is that they were spending time in the, let's say, emerging markets. And this individual is originally from the UK. And his mother was not doing well. So he needed to remit the funds from whichever bank in Southeast Asia, even though it's a UK bank account that he's had since he was like 15 or 16. The point is, he tried to wire the money and it was pushed back. It was held in a suspense account that was pushed back to the initial bank. And the reason why, when he inquired, is we don't know where this money is coming from. We know you, I understand, but what evidence do we have that this money is legitimately earned? He pointed to his website and he said, this is what I do. I'm reasonably well known in this space. And so I understand that you have a nice website, but again, we have paperwork. We have no way of proving that these funds are clean. And so that created obviously a crisis within his family, but this is what happens when one thinks short term. And I think this whole idea of zero tax, it's a nice idea in theory, but it doesn't work in today's world.